Welcome back, everyone, to the Rogue Company Invitational, first ever LAN event. And we're back from break. We have Red Notice and Final Chapter coming up soon. What are some predictions?
Gotta go with, I think, Red Notice probably overall for me.
Yep.
After what we've just seen, obviously struggling a little bit kind of in that second round there against a team, Antimatter, that we're placing, probably predicting right around that 5th, 6th place, somewhere around there. And I think Red Notice we're expecting to go pretty high overall. So I would expect them to win. By how much, I don't know. There's, everybody's warmed up today. Sometimes that's a conversation too. But with so much group play happening already today, nobody's really coming in cold on the day. So I think everyone is ready to go and probably will perform just as well as they did in those group stages.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with Red Notice for this matchup, but Final Chapter, they are playing like sort of a wild card to me right now. Like,
kind of, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
They lose one game very convincingly, and then they win a game like 8-1, 8-2 in that last one very convincingly, and they get pushed to game 5. They 3-0 someone. It's just they look like they're all over the place, and it's mainly because they have to feed off of P-Story, right? Like, Yokes not doing so well today. I think in group play he dropped 386 damage in 2 games. Or two series. That's at least 4 games, right?
I believe they call that an area code.
That might be a typo, but for right now, 386 damage in 4 to 6 games, that's kind of weak.
I want to say it's a typo, man.
I don't know. I'm going to go with it's not, okay? Everything being fed to me is proper. It's not a typo, okay?
Man.
I trust my production team out there to give me no typos.
Yeah, it's not the way that you want to see it go down, even if it is true. Yeah.
But hey, they've got the only keyboard player, the only mouse and keyboard player. He's playing pretty decently in most of the games. But P-Story is really the story here. As the name, I guess.
Yes.
Intends,
as the name might imply.
But P-Story for the Final Chapter is going to have to be the one to start pulling out these wild card rogues like Secret, and he's going to have to step up even more, which is a lot to ask from one person. But if Final Chapter doesn't want to be in that 5th, 6th place conversation, they've got to really step up. I mean, they've got to start closing games out convincingly. It can go 5 games, but you cannot be like winning 8-1 and then lose 2-0 or 8-2.
Yeah.
You've got to do something to stay in the fight no matter what. That first game in that set, they went 8-7, so they did a little bit better there. But going back to who we're watching, Red Notice, I think this team could be the 2nd place team. I think they could be the ones that face Public Hamsters in the finals. They're just really good, and they have people that have been around the game for a while. Not just that. We're talking about Drew, how young Drew is.
Yeah, we're talking about Drew.
It's not even that he's young. It's that when the comp scene first started like forming and becoming what it is, Drew was this kid that was just on one of these bottom teams. Drew was actually part of the only team that was the longest standing roster for the longest amount of time, which was Lager. And all the people that were on that team with him, King Prenade and Rock Soldier, they're cheering for him right now because he's become one of the top players. He came from the bottom. Usually it's like, you have all these top players and they're up there, and it's from the beginning, like Gronky, Delana, Cool, Nash. They've all been at the top. They've been at the top for a while. Everyone knows they're good. They've always been good. But Drew has been one of those players that people didn't really respect or give any credit to or really bat a second eye. Like it's not one of those people you look on stream twice at, right? And you don't shake another eyelash at him. But he started climbing the ladder, getting better and better and better. Rome started putting him higher and higher on his rankings list that he does. And then all of a sudden, people are starting to talk about him. And now Drew's here. He's dropping crazy amounts of downs, eliminations. He's putting up big damage numbers. I always used to say, Ink, when it comes to Public Hamsters, Ink plays characters with frag grenades because he can literally not throw C4s properly, and he can't throw Semtexes. But when it comes to Semtexes, Drew's the man. Give Drew a Semtex, no other throwable. He's terrible with all other throwables, but Semtexes are his thing. So you'll see him on a runway a lot.
So we just obviously saw Final Chapter play. I talked about Nash being somebody that I really want to kind of see play here on this LAN setting. Drews, talk to me about Joker and 40 a little bit here. What are we kind of expecting, I think, from those guys?
All right, so Rome and I were talking about this in the room last night as well. Nash has got to keep his cool. This is one of their keys to victory, right? Nash tends to lose composure, and that's when their team really starts to go downhill, because when he starts to get Nash kind of, not to throw him out there or under the bus or anything, but when he starts to lose his composure, he just starts saying random things, man, and angry voices. Sometimes he'll even go quiet, which is in most cases even worse than not saying anything, right? So he's got to maintain composure. Joker and 40. 40 hasn't played competitively in a little bit. It's been about a month or two maybe. But the thing with 40 is the same thing. 40's got to keep himself in check. You can kind of show your ego, right? The other players are right across from you. You can stand up. I know these players, they want to stand up, they want to talk trash, right? You can do that, but to an extent, because with 40, whenever we're watching 10Ks or I'm casting or whatever online throughout the whole year, 40's always in the chat talking that smack, man. I've never lost to this team. And he's talking about like Cute Hamsters at the time, which was the most winningest team. He's like, I've never lost. That's crazy. Should have kept me on your team. Blah, 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 blah. And now he's here. So if he doesn't lose to them, or, you know, if you're a Demolition or a King of the Hill and you get like 2 kills, then you stand up to talk trash and you're still alive, but then you die, that could cost your team like a round or two, dude. So you got to like keep yourself in check. Joker, on the other hand, a lot of people give him a lot of slack for being a Kestrel one trick, but I've literally watched every 10K broadcasted game since February of last year, and that is not even his most picked rogue.
Yeah.
All right, so he played a lot of Dahlia, which is good because this team doesn't really have that Dahlia player, so Joker's got to fill that role, right? You want Drew to be on the runway. You want Nash to be on those like comfort picks that he has. Everyone knows him for playing Trench. Everyone knows him for playing Glitch, so we'll see if he comes out with those.
All right, looks like we have our series layout up here. We're going to be starting with Breach, then we're going to have Palace again, Factory, and Canals. What do you guys think about this layout?
Yeah, so still obviously sticking with that demo, King of the Hill, demo, King of the Hill, demo thing. That's why you see those 2 Palaces back to back. Those will be obviously different game modes played on them. Excited to see some Palace. Obviously one of the newer maps seen today. I don't know if we've had any Breach games on broadcast today, and I know this is a really, maybe in group stages, but so far, excited to see that one. I think that's kind of in that same vein as Hollows for me. I enjoy seeing both of the sites played on this map. I think this map plays really well for Demolition.
Yeah, Breach, I mean, the only difference between that with Hollows on Demolition, Hollows at least you have like a few moments to rotate from site to site as the attackers.
Breach is pretty hard commit.
Breach, once you commit to one side, it is a trek through Narnia to get to the other side, pretty much. That's all there is for Breach.
All right, well, I think the game is loading up, so we're going to be throwing it over to our casters, Nighty and Rome. Take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Desk. I am so happy to be here with Rome, me, Kresnik, here ready to break down this game. And you know what? I'm cursed because I'm back on Breach. It is I casted so much Breach this morning in the group stages, but now that we're right back with Final Chapter, I also got to cover quite a bit this morning. We're right here. Rome, how are you feeling? Red Notice. First time we're getting a chance to look at them today.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling amazing, man. This is going to be awesome to be able to witness what this squad in Red Notice is going to be able to do. We already saw Final Chapter in the last broadcast, how amazing they were able to play together in that final Game 5. They showed they've got ice in their veins, and now they're coming into a fresh series against the squad that a lot of people have as the overall 2nd seed coming into this tournament, and they ended up taking that 2nd seed through group play, as they were able to go 2-0 undefeated. So now that we are going to bracket play, it's a whole different ball game. And let me just clarify, because I said it lot. I said it a lot during the last series. I said it was an elimination match. I apologize for that. It was an elimination match from the winner's bracket. So everyone did start out in the winner's bracket, then they had to go down to the elimination bracket. So this was actually a winner's bracket match that we just witnessed. So they're going to be still fighting out for a spot. So Antimatter Gaming, they're not out of it yet. Don't buy those plane tickets yet. You're not going home. It's okay. Stay at the venue, eat up, drink some more coffee. You'll be good to go. Your run is not over yet whatsoever. So now that we're moving on to the winner's bracket round number 2, we get to see how this squad in Final Chapter is going to be going up against Red Notice. Well, hey, listen, is this going to be P Story's final chapter of his story?
Oh, maybe. Well, he still has the elimination bracket. Again, still also still not an elimination game.
Yeah, exactly.
just to make absolutely sure. We'll clarify that every once in a while for everyone watching. They still have plenty of time left. At least one more chapter, no matter how this game goes. But, I mean, their breach earlier, if I remember correctly, I think it was not great in game number 1, but they picked it up a little bit later against Elevate. We'll see if that'll continue against Red Notice, a team that people are considering to be a lot more of a threat here as we drop in. Joker, speaking of not playing Kestrel, I mean, it's not banned. Clearly, he is rocking that Dahlia, if my eyes are not lying to me.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be, and man, oh man, it's going to be a 3-1 split as what are we seeing? It is a middle push. We never see this. This is very interesting. 3 players running down the mid 2B. They're going to be meeting up that lone player in the back. That's going to be Nash. He's not going to be long for this world. That's going to be a beautiful first blood from Spencer and P-Story. And I got to be honest, coming up with a play like that off rip, a play that we almost never even see be made, that was absolutely incredible. I'm not sure if that was reviewing VODs or what, but that middle was wide open.
Yeah, they had just Drew watching it, but I think just suppressed by the rest of the damage that they had kind of in the way, not able to peek. Also on his runway, which he was telling me was banned every single game during the group stages. So feeling comfortable and maybe too comfortable letting them slip by, and now having played this post plan in a 4 versus 3 and taken down Saint. Great angle onto 40 there, who tried to peek, just getting pistoled from a mile away. And another one so lethal. Back here as they'll move in. Only one player that could potentially go for this defuse here. It's Drew, and he's hiding right now. Probably not just trying to give him any extra cash. I don't think there's any chance he's going to make it back in round 1 early. Solid start from Final Chapter, even if they lose one person for it. Some cash in the pocket of Red Notice at the very least.
Yeah, and a nice play coming out of this squad. And right now, Final Chapter, I got to be honest, that was an unexpected push. Not only an unexpected, that was one the defense isn't going to expect.
Nope.
That was one I didn't expect as a caster. Normally you see a straight up A push or a straight up B push. That is a new... I don't even know. I feel like that's going to be something that players are just going to need to adjust to on the defense. You need to send somebody middle to watch out for that specific push, simply because it's so easy to shut down that push if you have one player even looking at the mid. But that time there was nobody there. So, a nice play out of the offense to be able to just read that, be able to understand what they're going to be doing. And hey, now we got ourselves a straight up A push coming out of the offense.
Do you think it's too much of a risk maybe? Because they had Drew there, but if you give up more people, then the other sites become so wide open, and Nash obviously totally overwhelmed over there on that push. This time, not going to have to deal with any pressure whatsoever. They are looking, as you said, Trench in the way. There's an instant aggressive play from Spencer as well, as he gets down 2 hits from utility as Joker and Drew find Spencer and Yokes, but they still have this close area, but Nash finds 2, I think, rotating long all the way over to catch them, and it's only 1 player left standing. It's Saint, the mouse and keyboard player, who manages to get 1, but just cannot beat the overwhelming firepower from Red Notice.
Yeah, right there, Nash went absolutely massive. He got a big 2-piece with that C4, was able to make sure nobody's going to get any revives, nothing tricky's going to be coming through, and now this squad, they're starting to rack up this momentum a little bit. That's the one thing about this Red Notice squad, is they can really rack together these rounds very, very quickly as a squad. They are, in my opinion, the number 2 team coming into this tournament for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. This squad, they have all the potential to literally shut out teams in Demolitions. They have the ability to also shut out teams in King of the Hills. And now, when you're going up against a squad that's like this in Final Chapter, I gotta be honest, right now is where you have to put it all together. You can't afford to make the small mistakes. And hey, listen, we already talked about it. Nash, he has to be that consistent IGL, that good leader. Keep those positive vibes for his squad. He's had a knack for starting to get a little bit down and things like that. Whenever he starts to lose, and when you're at LAN, that just cannot happen. I told him about it, and he said, hey, listen, if it's something I got to work on, it's something I got to work on. And man, Spencer already going to be dropping. Oh my goodness. What a shot, as that trade is going to be coming through from Drew and Saint. Man, oh man.
How does that even happen? This is LAN. There should be that must have been literally frame perfect back and forth between them. And once again, it's only 1 member left standing against the onslaught as we lose Saint. And Joker finds the Haymaker onto Story. They'll be able to get that defused. No problems here. And you talk about staying cool, staying calm. I think Nash is in his head, in a good way. He's thinking, he's staying ahead of the game. He disengaged as soon as he saw that push coming, said, I'm not going to stay here like I did last time.
Yep.
That got me crushed, that got me overwhelmed. He backed up, let Drew come back in. They synced their utility on the planter. Suddenly, bomb's not down. This becomes a much, much harder push for Chapter.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. And, you know, listen, this Red Notice squad, they're starting to get that momentum, and all 4 players were alive at the end of that round. So anytime you got all 4 players up at the end of a round, you're going to be feeling extremely good. Your economy is going to be looking great compared to the other team. As you can see right now, they're clearly ahead in economy, and, man, they just got to keep on racking this up, man. You can see the trench has been so massive for them when it comes to this barbed wire, when it comes to the trophies, and 40, even though he doesn't have the most kills in the kill feed, he's still able to do a nice job with his utility. As you can see, he's going to be going up top, locking down A, but that's not going to matter much because this is looking like it's going to be a B push with 1 solo player that is going to be watching the flank.
And Drew is fairly aggressive in that mid area, looking to maybe get a crossfire, but probably not going to stay too long. I'm assuming going to wrap back as soon as they try to go in. They've already smoked it off, but they're not pushing it just yet, not taking advantage of that. They will get revealed, obviously, once they get far enough in as Nash gets knocked low, but just narrowly staying alive. They're baiting out some utility. They're trying to catch them on there, pushing a lot of damage and down on Nash. 40 forced to hide. The rest of the team is running them over, and suddenly one little rotation gets caught out, and they just drop like flies.
Yeah, an overall beautiful play coming out from Chapter right there to tie things up 2-2, and that's what you want to see. You want to see coordinated pushes, understanding. You know, you saw the Scorch started planting the bomb and then immediately got off of it simply because that runway was able to call out, listen, that player, Nash, is still back there. He's got that C4 ready, and they were able to bait it out perfectly and eventually get the kills with the Semtexes. And, hey, listen, that's exactly what you want to see right now. So, hey, Nash, he's currently sitting on 4 downs. Drew sitting on 3, Joker sitting on 3. It's pretty even over there. You know, 40's doing his thing down low. But hey, on the other side, Spencer and Yokes right now dropping a little bit of a goose egg. So hey, let's see who exactly is going to be able to pick it up for their squad.
Yeah, I think whatever team has the whole squad start performing, I think to the level they'd like to, is going to be the team that just kind of runs away with it at the moment, because we're just seeing some stars really holding the team together like glue. But we're not going to see any kind of star aggressive play here. We're going to see a very slow, methodical take so far. They're out there. They're going to get the smoke down about as early as you would like. Drew said he had the best Semtexes in the game when I was talking to him before the last match started. Not able to find anything with these and getting pressured out a bit from some spam. The drones don't find anything, though, so that's a bit of utility wasted on the attacker's side. They have this post plant that they can play off of, but a very clean one. They just have to be careful not to get caught out going for this defuse, as a lot is getting spent early.
Oh yeah, ton of money coming out, ton of utility being dumped right now. Oh, that's just going to be a beautiful nade, and that's on the runway. That's going to be a straight-up 4v3. You're going to want to push off of this, especially since you see a player that's going to be reviving. P-Story's hitting the big old flank. Is this going to be able to work out? No! He gets taken out while hopping over, and just like that, Red Notice, they're going to be able to have a beautiful retake, take out all 4, defuse this bomb with ease. All 4 players still up.
Their willingness to just go in just completely neutered that flank. There was nothing it could do. I mean, he went all the way around. It would have been perfect if his entire team wasn't in the middle of dying. You know, it's a timing thing. When you make those plays, it's a risk. If they realize that you are probably going for something like that, something so risky, they're just going to go. They're going to take advantage of that guaranteed 4v3, especially after that first pick. They probably realized as soon as they went in, like, oh, we're down 1. This was the best thing we possibly could have done. A very bold push by Red Notice that paid off fantastically. Let me get the player photos up. I love seeing this.
Man, look at that kid on the right, man. You see him? Man, oh man, did he bring his lunchbox today. Man, Drew is absolutely 15 years old and killing it out here in the scene, man. I rated him as a top 6 player out of the 24 coming into this LAN. And I gotta be honest, so far, he has been showing out. In their last series, he dropped 12,800 damage, and the next closest player on his team dropped 8,000. So he overall has been absolutely fragging for his squads, dropping tons of damage, not only because he loves runway, but just because he's all around a super smart player that is adjusted extremely well to comp. He's teamed with so many different players, and so many times I've even said he has been the best player on his team. When he teamed with Losi, I said he was the best player on that team. When he teamed with, it didn't even matter. It was almost like a 6-month streak where I said it felt like Drew is just the best player on his team no matter what. And I gotta be honest, I looked at my rankings, I rated him as the best player on his team in this one too. So, hey, not exactly sure if he's going to be able to keep this momentum up, as right now, final chapter, able to even things out at 3-3. But overall, man, it's going to really come down to how this squad is going to be able to play around Drew and how he's going to be able to stay composed as a 15-year-old at this first LAN event.
Yeah, and he's, I mean, not able to stabilize in that round, but I gotta tell you, from the way that he was talking to me earlier, I think he's feeling confident. If I showed up to a LAN at 15, I would be vibrating. I'd be so nervous. I mean, you would hear it on the other side of the room. I'd be shaking. So, I mean, the fact that he's able to play at the level he is so far, I'm definitely impressed with him. We'll see if that will continue. Just take a look over all the players as they are dropping right into this, and the defensive setup has been fairly similar. We're in the last round of the half here, both teams trying to fight for this little advantage, and we might see a pivot. I already saw someone over to the right, but maybe not. Spencer over here, maybe just trying to catch someone on the rotation, but Drew fairly forward up here, committing pretty far from B. I think they're expecting an A hit.
Yeah, it looks like that is the case. It might be a slow B. I believe Spencer, the Scorch, does have the bomb over toward B site. So not exactly sure what P-Story is looking to do. Maybe he's trying to hit another flank, just a super wide one. But either way, it's going to be a push coming out. No, Spencer's going to be rotating on back. All three players now going to be rotating back from that B side on over to A. So we got to see exactly if P-Story is going to be able to lock this down, or is Joker going to be able to hold true? As right now, here comes the push as P-Story's leading the way.
The double fake there, you know, make it seem like you're going slow one way, have the bomb that way, and then pull him away. But Drew picks off the runway on the other side here. So aggressive for the rest of them as well. Great catch on the rotation from Joker in mid. Story does manage to get one back, and they will get the rest. It will be an even game for now, but Story with another playing over up top here in a great position to watch this bomb, but maybe an overpeak. Thought they were close, but they were both far away, and now 40 able to stabilize because Saint's just not close enough at the moment. Joker wants to push this, it looks like, but gonna go for the revive instead. I think that's a safer play, that's the smarter play, and now they can just play their team shot here, their firepower, and utilize that to push it all the way, but they're running low on this timer. 40 finishes off the first kill. There's two players up. There's plenty of guns there to delay it as long as they can. Spencer, though, the last one left, they started getting that defused. Nash really heads up way back there, getting that and guaranteeing them the advantage heading into the half.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I wasn't sure if the Scorch still had a Molly in her back pocket. That's what I was looking at because the time was dwindling down. They didn't put down any trophies. If that Scorch would have flicked over her Molly, guess what? They would have secured themselves a round win because that thing came down to the wire. But hey, listen, this squad in Red Notice, they were able to push out, have another beautiful retake, and now we get to see what they're going to be doing on the offensive end. You can see Drew Whitlock, he's locking in that runway very, very fast. If it's open, it's going to be locked in the second that he has the option to, and man, I'm loving seeing these player photos, man, with their pictures, man. I can't get over, man. Look at Drew, man. Look at it, man. Looks like a school photo, man.
Well, they wouldn't make you do the esports pose in a school photo. I wish they did. My school photos would probably look a little bit better. I don't need to talk about those here. But the runway locking in from Drew, it is just, why not, right? When is it ever going to hurt you, I think, to have that rogue in your composition? You have the extra utility, you have the ability to snipe and kind of fight at medium range with the AR. I feel like she's just so flexible, and it just makes sense to just slam it anytime it is up. And particularly on this map too, when you can get so much value out of your utility. We see a lot of good nades, good lineups when you are attacking or even defending. We saw some good ones earlier. We'll see them, though, how it will line up on the attack as they get that reset from Drew, and a lot of mollies to pressure people off angles.
Yeah, and let's talk about it real quick. Drew, even in the last round, he picked up back-to-back headshots with that runway sniper, man. That is just absolutely insane. If we would have the POV of that one, I'm pretty sure we would have been going crazy in here, but that was a great way to open up that retake yet again. So now on this offensive end, he's going to be dropping that box down, letting the Scorch, letting the Dallas pick up those second mollies, and now we got ourselves an all-out A push, and I like it coming in from this Red Notice squad.
Yeah, they have this high ground. This is such a key position to hold as long as you can get out of it, as long as you can get past this, so the position that Spence is holding is not just completely shutting you down once you try to make that space get taken. But here comes the smoke already. 40 fairly far forward. No one really willing to commit, but the nade perfectly timed by Yokes will down. 40 stops the plant. 40 just trying to stay alive for now. And they do have the Dahlia res for it, but a Semtex coming in finds him again. It's 1-for-1 for now, but the attackers really needed that bomb to go down because they're going to have to run out into the open if they want to do anything with it.
Yeah, and they were able to get that revive on the defensive end, so that's really going to put Red Notice in a very, very dire spot, at least for this round, and now they're just essentially just going to be pushing up and trying to make a play based off their skill alone. So, hey, they definitely have the capabilities of doing it. So many talented players. All these players are in a little bit of a bottleneck. This might actually be a nice opportunity for Red Notice. If that's a good molly, they might be able to set up off of that, and unfortunately it didn't go on the other side. I thought it might have been able to zone them off, but no.
Now, just a little bit too far away from what I saw from that lineup. And obviously having 2 players there means if you peek, you're probably just going to lose the fight anyway. But Joker managed to sneak in. Story's going to push for it. No one's covering him at all. Nash was there, but just couldn't watch the one angle that mattered, the one that Story pushed. And now suddenly it's Nash versus 2, but he's still going to take 1v1s. If he can win these, this is good. He isolated them, but the wrap around all the way to help Story makes things a lot tougher here. It's only Drew left standing, and he has to pay attention to that bomb as they start to go for the defuse. They know he's going to be coming from this way. They know he probably doesn't have the resources that he needs to molly this or delay it, but Drew's giving him the runaround, just can't make it in time, can't even beat out Story there, so we are back at a dead even game.
Yeah, it was a good play trying to go up, shoot the guy off the bomb, but just a little bit too little too late. So, hey, man, just a nice push coming out of this final chapter squad, and hey, look at that. P-Story, 11 downs to his name. Wow. Drew Whitlock, 11 downs to his name. Even Saint, the M&K player, he's got 9 as well. But, like, honestly, the top fraggers for each respective team, I gotta be honest, I feel like I'm not that surprised right now. They're showing out and doing exactly what I'm expecting these players to do. They have the capabilities of top fragging every single game for their squads, and they're doing just that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think this is what we've seen so far in most of the games we've watched is there are players who are really taking to this environment. I think more than some others, they are really feeling comfortable in person with their team, definitely getting that hype boost from actually being there, and we'll see which one can reign supreme at the end of this first map. Here is another A hit it looks like we're going to be seeing. You can already tell they've taken the high ground a bit. Nash is close by 40, trying to take some space here from them, but they shouldn't have a ton in the bank after that first round. Got a couple down, so maybe 1 or 2 of them have a primary, but they might not really be able to take some of these fights the way that they would be otherwise. You can see Saint pretty much kitted out. I mean, he's got his guns, he's got his Semtex, at least utility, all you need to slow them down on this first push here, but they're not doing anything. They're not spending anything. They're just waiting and trying to punish the first person to push, and it looks like Red Notice will make the first move. That instead forces them back, and the Semtex doesn't find it, but Yokes is able to follow up.
Yeah, Yokes was able to really get the final little bit of damage that they needed to get that player down, stop that bomb plant. But now 40, he's going to be regenning right on this bomb site yet again. Is he going to start to put it down? That is the big question. You don't want a situation like last time where P-Story literally walked up and shot him off the bomb. And he literally walked up and shot him off the bomb. That's so unfortunate. Now Joker, he's going to have to try his hardest to keep P-Story at bay, but that is much easier said than done, ladies and gentlemen. And now we got Drew Whitlock. He's going to be teaming up with Nash X. They're going to be in a 2v3 scenario. The bomb is down. This is very doable.
Only because they don't know. Spencer doesn't seem to see him, but he might see him now. Story drops down. Patrick has to win this, and he has the stim. If he gets hit, if he wants to push, he can go for it. He picked up the gun, but he can't connect the shots. Unfortunate. Saint was above. I think he felt rushed, and they don't need to rush at all. They got all the time in the world to get this defuse and take the lead.
Yeah, and right now, final chapters starting to rack them up. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. They're on the defensive side. Now, I'm not going to say that the defensive side is the favored side on this map simply because, honestly, we've seen teams win 7-0 on the offense. Sometimes you just don't have an answer to an offense on this map. So, really, it's about playing to your composition that you end up choosing. And, I mean, by the looks of these teams with the rogues that they've been choosing, this could go either way. So, I'm extremely excited for the rest of this match. It's 5-4 currently. 3 more rounds for victory for final chapter, 4 more for Red Notice.
Both on the edge of, making it, if they go all the way here, if they can keep getting these wins, it's Winners Bracket Finals. That is a nice place to be, so a big prize early on for them to make it all the way there as they all get their extra utility, and they are running to B. So a bit of a pivot. I think this is the first time they've gone in this direction. And well, they predicted. I mean, I'm just looking at the mini-map. You see the one player holding by that close mid-cut. You see Saint holding all the way on the right and taking some damage early. So now they immediately know they have to get this smoked off. Saint is rotating away, living at 13 HP. That is going to come back to bite them, but he thinks they're going to be aggressive, and I guess he was right. The Semtex finds the down and finds a little bit more damage as well, and he just can't re-peek it because this Molly has to play in far back, and a trade again! It has to be as close to a frame as it can possibly get, but it keeps happening. These players just have the reaction time and the push at the very end. Final chapter. Recover what could have been tough. It was a great start to the push, and they managed to find their footing.
Yeah, and right now the M&K player, Saint, he's matching Drew. He's saying, you can hit a heady, I can hit one too. You got to pull a trigger, I just got to click a button, man. Simple as that. Either way, both of these players on the runways are absolutely going off. And right now, final chapter, they are putting this squad Red Notice on notice right now, letting them know you might be the number 2 seed, at least feel like it coming into this. But right now, final chapter, we've got the momentum. We're up 6-4. We're on defense. Let's lock this down. Let's get out of this with a dub.
Chapter 1 a hand, Red Notice, a pink notice after this one, and get them out of this tournament, or at least this winner's bracket if they manage to continue this strong pace all the way through the maps. What, you're going to say something?
I just want to say, I want to get clarification from broadcast real quick. This is to guarantee yourself top 3, correct, this match? If not,
winner's bracket finals.
That's fine. But yeah, I believe that, yeah, so getting to winner's bracket finals, I believe, guarantees you top 3. If I'm mistaken, I'm mistaken. But I believe that's top 3. So pretty sure this is a straight up money match right now.
Well, we know, we'll let you know. But for now, what we do know is that Joker had a great angle there, punishing the players who were trying to rotate in. So too early for a big number advantage. They can pretty much hit any site they want at this point. I feel like they have huge advantage no matter what. You're going to want to play post plant. You're not going to want to be aggressive and throw something away here. And the bomb does go down, so it's Yokes here up top trying to just do anything he can. Smoking off that upper ground, I think that will help a lot, but they have to move together. He has to move with his teammate. He's already taken damage, didn't catch that, but somehow staying alive, and 40 goes down from Story on the other side. It's a trade 1-for-1, and Yokes, there's no way he's going to be able to pull this one off. Which, you know, Rock in a hard place, locked in, and 40 will be able to find the push and find him and get them around.
Yeah, Red Notice right there with a nice push coming out. So bringing this within one more. So here we go, man. All right, guys, so we just got word from production. Yes, the winner of this match will guarantee themselves top 3 in the Rogue Company 10K. So we got ourselves a money series, ladies and gentlemen. That means whoever wins this one will be walking away with a minimum of $1,000 in their pockets. $250 each, ladies and gentlemen. That could be absolutely massive. Doesn't matter whether you're P-Story wanting to buy another grill or whether you're Drew having to buy school supplies. Either way, that $250 gonna be amazing in your bank account, and I can't wait to see who's gonna be able to take it home.
He's gonna crush that snack line at the cafeteria. I'm gonna be honest with you if he walks away with that from this one. But they got a bit of a road ahead. Obviously, it's a best-of-5 series. You gotta win 3 maps, and you gotta start with this one, which they are down in right now. But when they win, they look so good when they do get the advantage in some of these rounds. But I feel like sometimes they just flounder, get kind of locked out. But what they've done now is lock out final chapter. They got in pretty clean. We saw some low HPs who were assuming some util, got them down early, but caught on the rotation out. Story manages to find their first pick that they can use to open the door here. 40 still holding close as the rest of them are looking to collapse here. They need to find something with utility as they come in. I think they want to get something because I don't think they can really play for these trades, and so far it's not hitting the way they want it to. And the Halos forcing Drew over. Drew's holding that nade but can't hold on it, and Saint gets the next. It's only one player left, and Joker can't do everything.
Man, oh man, what a play coming out of final chapter. And hey, now, Red Notice, their backs are against the wall. They're down 7-5. They got to win 3 in a row. Let's go ahead and get in with a listen in and see exactly what Red Notice is thinking.
Yeah, you're outer. You still got to plant there, though.
Alright.
Either way.
I don't know how they knew I was there. Like they just threw a molly at me. Like they knew I was there.
I guess they just assumed somebody was gonna try to ride there. That's all.
Come on.
Let's just. I have 2 EMPs. Let's go ahead. Let's go. You gotta get the ball down quick. You want me to push up top?
Yeah.
I'll waste my mollies. You want me to waste my mollies and you save yours or what?
I can't even get 2 mollies. Oh, never mind. I got it. I'm okay.
I'll use 1 molly for top, right?
Anyone need to freshen up?
He's close. He's close. That one's bottom.
He's weak.
Bro, I'm weak. He's close.
Hit him 40.
He's 1 HP on the left corner. Nice, Hi-Rez.
I got stuck, bro.
No.
You smoke, man.
He said array.
I think I
got the res up top, bro.
He dropped down.
Stop. I saw good try.
And oh man, final chapter, putting the final nail in the coffin, 8-5. You heard Red Notice. They're a little bit shaky on that push. Ended up not working out whatsoever for them. And man, oh man, gotta be honest, this squad in final chapter surprised me a little bit there.
Yeah, that was a good performance by them. Again, they looked kind of up and down on this map in the past, but up enough to take down Red Notice on it for map number 1. And there comes, I mean, they talked about, you know, what they had, obviously how they wanted to approach it, but nothing super set in stone from what I heard. They kind of sounds like they wanted to go in with a flexible game plan, and maybe Final Chapter just had something a little more solid they were able to rely on. They said, how do you know I was there? Maybe something preset, right? That they talked about ahead of time, and that really caught them off.
Yeah, and that is the other thing that we were talking about is if you understand how teams play, if you've scrimmed them enough, you know their comfort spots. And that's the one thing is that these squads have been scrimming a ton coming into this event. And so, you know, understanding where they want to play, that's just going to be a given. Anytime you give a team that much practice against you, you see the beautiful shots coming out, the beautiful Simtai, if you will. You know, Sim Texas sounds kind of funny to me, so I kind of like saying Simtai, you know? It just sounds better. So anytime a runway is able to use those Simtai to get it down, you just love to see it, man.
Yeah, excellent use of that Simtai, and one of the few characters that really gets, I guess, to have it so early and really catch you out when you're not expecting to have that necessarily here. We'll watch some of these replays. I want to see some of those trades. I saw one in the kill feed. We couldn't see it fast enough, but I got to get the frame count on those because you really have to know. This was that last push when we were giving that listen into their comms, and it just seemed like as soon as they got the tiniest ledge, as soon as they knew how they were going to approach, they just dropped down from above, really caught out their push. They knew they were coming in, and they collapsed so quickly.
Yeah.
And a collapse, what Red Notice is trying to avoid at this point. After losing map 1, they have to stay cool, and they have to get ready for Palace. It's King of the Hill. It's a respawn mode. It's a great way to change up the pace.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, this was the other thing that you have to think about is that Red Notice, they were not the ones that picked that map. So that map choice right there was a Final Chapter map choice, and it ends up being fortuitous for them as they end up coming victorious. So now we're going to a game number 2 where I will say Nashex, he loves Palace. Straight up. It doesn't matter whether it's King of the Hill, whether it's Demolition. He loves Palace, and he always does pretty well on it. So I'm excited to see how this squad's going to be doing on this specific map. I also know that Drew Whitlock, he also is very, very good on Palace as well. So having back-to-back Palaces in King of the Hill and then Demolition, I think we might see a swing for the side of Red Notice. But hey, at the end of the day, Final Chapter, in my opinion, they just shocked the world, in my opinion, by taking home that first demo.
Yeah, especially the way that they did, because they looked... I feel like they were kind of dismantling them on the rounds that they did win, and then it was either... The rounds that Red Notice were able to take, it was very just boom. Like, we got this first pick immediately. We found one advantage, and we really walked off of it. But all the way around, I really feel like they were kind of picking them apart, and maybe that plays against them, but this is the map they wanted. The first 2 maps are the maps picked by the lower-seeded team, which we know going into this is Final Chapter. So even though they had only banned 2 of the 5 King of the Hill maps available, they wanted Palace. You talk about Nash being comfortable here, but they must feel like they have something on this map, at least for King of the Hill, that can kind of carry them to another map win. And if they manage to win this one, they're going right back into the map again. But right now, we're going right into it for the first time here today. Palace will be map number 2 of this series. Final Chapter up 1-0 so far. A bit of maybe not what we were expecting from map 1, but if they can keep playing in their comfort zone, they might be able to take it all the way.
Yeah, 110%. And as you said, this is the first time that we get to see Palace this entire tournament. And man, oh man, I could not be more excited. This is one of the most beautiful maps in Rogue Company. When it was brought into the map pool, all the players, they were like, man, this map is kind of big. But once they got used to it, they got used to the rooftops, they realized, man, this map is a straight up staple in Rogue Company. And it's going to be here for a long, long time. And now we get to see how these teams are going to be playing it out, what rogues are going to be chosen. Looks like the Anvil, Dallas, Lancer coming out of Drew. Interesting. And Joker on the Kestrel. Oh, this just got very spicy.
Bit of a mix-up, but I like to see it. I mean, they're good rogues.
Yeah.
They're good rogues, Rome. Why not, right? You pick what's going to win you the game, but... I mean, with Runway being picked up on the other side, maybe they were expecting that mirror matchup. They're like, I'm gonna out Runway Drew, said Saint, but not even gonna have a chance to here.
Yeah, and this is the other interesting thing is that Drew is on the Lancer on the defensive side. Now, Drew, young man, we got to see exactly how he's going to be playing this Lancer. There's really only a couple of ways to play Lancer on defense on Palace. Pretty much it's King of the Hill. My goodness, my goodness. I'm so ready for the next game. You know, I'm already jumping ahead.
You're in map 5. You're you're looking forward to Canals. I get it. You know this is going to be a banger of a set.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm just predicting the future here a little bit. But man, oh man, Drew on the Lancer, I'm not surprised at all. Got to be honest. He loves Lancer and King of the Hill. So seeing it come out here, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And then I'm guessing we got P-Story on the Lancer on the other side. And anytime it's a Lancer on Lancer battle, I always say this. Whatever Lancer comes out on top is usually the team that wins.
I mean, yeah, because you control the flank, right? It gives you more map control, even though, you want to control the objective more than anything. If you control the areas around it, you will be able to win most of the fights. It really is as simple as that here. And now the early fights are going the way of Red Notice. They are contesting here. Bounce States are there a little bit too far past Saint, who is putting on some pressure, but it's going to be hard for them to dislodge 40. They have to use an incend for it, and even now they're only taking up just a few bits so far. Already only 30 seconds left on the hill, though, so I think they're going to need to look somewhere else, because no one seems willing to push this, because the first person to push is going to be the one who loses.
Yeah, there's no more mollies, there's no more util, so I mean, at this point it's just a stalemate, and that's the one interesting thing about this first hill is that usually there's not a lot of points going either way. It's really going to come down to, honestly, I feel like the B hill and the fourth hill are the main hills on this one that you can really rack up a ton of time on. The middle one, it's pretty easy to contest with the other side of the doors and things like that. And now we get to see Saint versus 40. Who's going to win the 1v1? It's going to be Saint. M and K on top, baby. And hey, this is the interesting thing is 40, he's actually a dual input player. He can play controller, or he can drop that and pick up mouse and keyboard and do just as well. So he's 100% a dual input player. Just wanted to point that out, that a lot of these players are just so talented.
When you said dual input, I thought you meant like holding a mouse in one hand and a controller in the other, because there are people that do that. That is a real thing, but not here, not at LAN. I don't want to think about the logistical nightmare that would be, and a nightmare is what's happening to the members of Red Notice trying to hold near the objective. Saint and Story are just running all over him here, but Spencer on that rotation over. Great one by him. They still have control of this objective. You said this is one of the better hills for racking up points, and it hasn't been going quickly yet, but everyone on Red Notice respawning and probably looking forward to see at this point.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to be setting up early and often, so it's going to be a lot of points coming in for final chapter on this B hill, which is exactly what you want. Anytime you're able to get, it looks like they're going to be able to get 50 off of this hill, and that's just absolutely massive. And now you can see Nashx and company, they're just going to be setting up the next hill. Something that's very interesting is that P-Story is not the one on the Lancer. That is very interesting to me, because I feel like P-Story is such a good Lancer. Even though he's a good Kestrel, I feel like him on the Lancer is just a whole other problem. And man, oh man, now it looks like this is paying off for this squad in final chapter so far, as they found themselves a nice lead. But 40 with this anvil shield, he's going to be locking down the middle.
Yeah, with the APS keeping him up for another moment longer and holding back. Look at all this they're spending on him, but actually Drew was crossing behind him and really got annihilated on that attempted rotation, but still surrounded and executed. But Spencer gets 2 here, and they use the Halo drones as well. No one racking up time now. I think they finally managed to make it on here, but this one is going to be very difficult to hold. People are spawning from every single angle, and it looks like spawn advantage might be in favor of Red Notice. 30 seconds left. I say you can test it for a little bit while the rest of your team sets up on D at this point. There's been so much time run down, and this is one of the more contested, literally contested King of Hills I've ever seen. This score is so low for this late in the game.
Yeah, there's only been about 20 points going through on this hill, and that's the one thing is that the A and C hill, it's just so easy to contest them without really needing to be challenged or even needing to challenge. So anytime that happens, it's going to be a lot of stalemate situations. And now heading into this D and final hill, there's only 90 points on the board, ladies and gentlemen. As you said, a super low scoring game, but at the end of the day, there's only 1:10 left. Somebody's going to be coming out on top.
And Saint caught out from that angle that he was playing. I think shot one sniper shot, and they just immediately knew where he was going to be holding here, as Red Notice do have control of the objective. We're watching the members of Final Chapter trying to find a way in. This is a tough one, though. You can see all the different angles. Not only are you going to be walking to a choke point, you're going to be walking to it vertically, but Drew, a little bit of an overcommitment there. Great angle from the back. They knew someone was flanking too, but it wasn't enough to just know they had to hit the shots as well. Red Notice will continue to rack up this time. 40 seconds left. It will put them just ahead if they can keep it held on. But one fight win from Final Chapter, especially a little closer to the end of the timer, might just put this game out of their reach.
Oh, you're 100% correct right now. Nash does go down. Unfortunate. Final chapter. They're pushing in through the sides. They're able to get another one down. Finally, 40 responds with a kill on Spencer. This next exchange is going to be absolutely massive. Whoever wins this exchange is most likely going to be winning it. Oh, no! Joker takes out himself, takes out his teammate, 40. That is the worst bounce state that we've seen at this LAN event so far.
Oh, he was trying to throw a bounce dip, but ended up playing handball with himself, just right back at him. Blew them both up. I don't know if they can make it back in. They get this sudden death, but Nash is burned, and Nash is surrounded, but he finds Spencer. They may be able to stabilize for another moment, but look at this push. Look at this pressure. He's still alive, hanging on by a thread. Joker also hanging on. They won't be able to make it all the way back. Story and State were the story of that round.
Yeah, 110%, man. You see right now, this squad final chapter, they're feeling good. They're getting hyped on the main stage. They're only one round away from going up 2-0 in the series against Red Notice, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, you got to be ready for this one if you're Red Notice, man. You got to be able to stay composed. I said the keys to victory for this squad specifically was Nash keeping cool, keeping calm, and keeping collected when he starts to get down. He has a knack to get a little bit negative, throw these little negative comments at his teammates, things like that. You can't let that happen at a LAN event, especially when you are down facing adversity. And with Joker, it's all about his confidence, in my opinion. The more confident Joker is, the better he plays. And I gotta be honest, the way that he just killed himself and his teammate is probably one of the worst ways to get that hype for yourself, honestly. And it's just so unfortunate that that's the way that that went.
It's a big killer, especially when you have to go turn and look at the face of the teammate that you just accidentally killed with your own bounce nade. It makes it about a million times worse. So a tough start for them, and still a tough start here. Just a pops over there by 40, finding Yokes 1-2 with the trade, and they're both going to give it up. It's King of the Hill. You got to give it up as quickly as possible. This has been a very good A site so far for final chapter. They are basically uncontested, not a point on the board, and might as well just rotate away at this point. Leave someone for the garbage time. Move into the B hill. It is good, and might be able to find this as well. True, not able to take down Yokes, who's been on kind of a tear over on this flank.
Yeah, Yokes has been doing very, very good on this Dallas right now. He's been beaming. You can see the Sahara is absolutely insane, man, when you're able to land your shots. And right now, Spencer, he's coming through, trying to make something happen, trying to break this hill right now. They do have a 35-point lead, which is going to be massive. Drew's going to be able to pick up one. There's all red in the kill feed right now. That means Red Notice. They're going to be able to get control of these spawns. They're going to be feeling good, and they're going to be able to start racking up these points.
Excellently timed push by the members of Red Notice. The fact that they had Drew going on the flank as soon as they applied pressure up front with those halos, forcing them to climb on the box. I mean, just very clinically done, I would say, here, as they have the shield now to rest behind, but Drew's still doing damage on the Lancer, really waking up from some of the early rounds. They can't contest from the shield, but look at this angle. He's just going to walk right in, 40 with the MLX, mowing down. Spencer trying to hold close here. We're going to be flipping fairly soon to a difficult to contest hill too, so Red Notice are getting a lead. They can really sit on it and hold for a while, but they're not going to get all the time from this hill final chapter. Kick the door right back open, capture it again, and they're still pretty close to the C hill too for once it's over.
Yeah, precisely. You know, final chapter, they understand that going for the scrap time at this B hill is worth it simply because you can contest this C hill so easily. Right now, Drew in a 1v1. He's able to get some help from Joker on that one. So, hey, listen, Joker's starting to pick it up for his squad right now. That's exactly what you got to do. Drew able to take him down. And this is the interesting thing, is that you see him using the LMPX. So a lot of players, they like to use the 24S or the D40, but some players, they just like the feel of that LMPX. I'm honestly one of them. I love the LMPX, and right now Drew, he's trying to make a statement with it.
Yeah, Nash making a statement right now. You can't push me. He is holding that corner very well, taking down anyone who tries to fight him, and in an excellent cross angle. He has to have one person at least watching his back. We saw Drew in that position before, probably still holding up there, but this crossfire is so important. That's why they're willing to spend the halo drones on it to force him back. And Story trying to fight it almost with that with the crouch spam, but it's 2-4-1 trade in favor of Red Notice. They continued to rack those time up for a bit, but they took down a final chapter, the one person who was contesting, so they can start getting this time again. Nash now forced to rotate away, and this might put them in a worse position as he can hide in this corner, find the player that they have contesting, and we are at a dead heat.
Yeah, and with a tie game heading into this final D hill, it is going to be all about how you can hold, how you can win out the trade, and how you can not bounce nade your teammates and yourself. That is going to be extremely important because, man, oh man, final chapter, it's 67-67. They're looking to put the nail in the coffin right now and in this bad boy. Let's see if that's going to be able to happen.
See, right now they don't have control of the hill at the moment. You can see 40 holding close to the shield. Do they know that he's right there? It doesn't matter. He still wins. He wins that fight even with Drew holding on this area as well. And Story actually winning that one, but Nash on a longer flank with a pretty deep angle is able to find them. It's only Yokes actually over there now winning that fight, finding the player that was holding close. Even though Nash is watching this, seems like he's been spotted. He'll find Spence. He'll get more info for his team, but they are contesting fairly well. They just got to withstand all of this utility coming in. Story off the respawn. Will Nash win it again? No! Story still winning it. They're all so low, but they are hanging on by a thread. Literal thread was how they were winning by, but now small advantage towards the other way, 82-81. So the last one was contested, but this one is just plain close. Final chapter do manage to hold on and keep this in their control for now. Only 22 seconds. They just have to find a way to set up. They can't give their lives away now or they're going to have no chance in this one.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a very, very big play coming out of Joker specifically. We got to see if he's going to be able to pick up one. Yes, he's going to be able to. Now what else can you make out of it? He's able to take out Spencer as well. Drops down. Sane ends up taking him out. There's only 3 seconds left. Are they going to be able to get on the hill? 40 with the anvil shield. That was so clutch. And now they're going to be able to be in this nice sudden death. And in my opinion, Drew, you got to hit those boots. You got to go around. You got to hit a flank to try and open this up. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing. He's going to be hitting that flank. He's most likely going to be dropping down. And you got to stay on the hill. If you're Joker, you cannot walk out of it. You got to stay alive. Drew, where you at? You got to come in clutch for the squad. That's not going to happen. And there you go. Final chapter. They're going to win 2-0. And ladies and gentlemen, Red Notice just got put on blast right there.
You said that this is a map that they like. Yeah. It's a map that they like, and they couldn't do it. That flank at the end was just too long, Drew. Yeah. I mean, he went as fast as he could. Yeah. Lancer's quick, but I mean, not faster than anyone else unless you're popping that quick and wide for that rotation. So they just took advantage. They're like, someone's above us. We know someone's above us. We got to go. And they ran down that shield. I don't think anyone was expecting it. That's the kind of play you don't expect from a team that's coming in as the underdogs. That is confident. Yeah. They got the gall to do that. That is shocking to me, but they were so aggressive. It played off so well, and now they're going back to the same map, different mode, same map. They gotta be feeling good about that.
Oh yes, 110%. And as you guys can see in these replays, Saint, the MK player, he's absolutely showing out today. I gotta say, I don't know what he put on his mouse, but man, oh man, he is absolutely flicking on everybody today. As you can see, the beautiful 4-piece coming in from the squad to be able to wipe them out to secure the victory for the squad of Final Chapter. This Final Chapter squad, they are shocking the world right now, and I'm going to be honest, I called them as my dark horse team. I said this squad can go as far as they want to. This squad is my underdog team to look at. If they play to the best of their ability, all 4 of these players have such good individual skill. It's just going to be all about putting it together at the same time, and right now it's looking like they're becoming that scary machine that I honestly saw that they'd be able to maybe become.
And they had they had a close game against the lower seed in another bracket, and that was a team that Red Notice beat. Yeah. We're seeing a little bit of a potential cycle if they can keep this going. You know, a Final Chapter guarantee themselves the money. We are seeing a very competitive tournament from a lot of these teams close by. But Red Notice, I mean, again, you said it's a map they like. This is a demo map they picked. Yeah. So this is a map I feel like they have to be feeling a little bit better going into. Even if they just lost on it, it was a totally different mode. It's basically a completely different map when you look at it that way. And this is the first map that they've played in this set that they actually wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's honestly major. You know, anytime you're down 0-2, at least you can look back and say, we didn't pick those. So, you know, we're able to come in to map 3 and 4, feeling like it's a fresh series, man. Let's just go ahead and get this 3-0 sweep to reverse sweep them and feel good about ourselves, you know, heading into that winner's bracket final because, hey, only one of these teams can make it there. And right now, Final Chapter, they're feeling good. They're feeling ready. Don't start tweeting out yet, Saint. I see you on Twitter. Don't start tweeting out yet. We're up 2-0 because that's exactly when things start to go left, man. Stay in the moment, stay focused.
He's in the family group chat. Hey guys, just won $1,000. How you doing? How's your day? He's still got a ways to go though. Can't be feeling that confident. He's laughing. He knows. His uncle just sent a really funny meme in response to it. We'll see how that boosts him all the way through as Red Notice. Again, you said it. You keep saying it's the key, right? They have to stay focused. Nash specifically has to stay calm under pressure. Yeah. It's hard, especially when you're down 0-2. Even though, again, you said there are ways to write it off. Still, you look at that score line, and you're like, oh man, it is tough to recover from, and especially as an IGL on a demo map where I feel like you need to be very clear about what you're doing, who's watching what. You have to be on top of it. But on top right now is Final Chapter. That might continue if they can keep this up. A Red Notice finally on home turf for the first time this set. We'll have to head in to see if it'll make a difference.
Yeah, you know, it all comes down to this, man. They're going to need to win 3 maps in a row if they don't want to go down to that elimination bracket. Man, oh man, this squad in Final Chapter, they've been showing out over the last couple of hours on broadcast, and they're not looking to stop the train anytime soon. Man, they are here to stay.
They're trying to get streamed again. They're trying to be the next game on stream as well.
I mean, it looks like that would be the situation if they were be able to win this one. So hey, props to them.
We are 5 games in, and they have been on stream 4 times. If I'm correct about that, I think one of them they weren't supposed to be, but it's just what happens when you are such a competitive team, and when you win. When we're watching the winners bracket, you keep winning, you'll keep staying in all the winners bracket games that we are watching here. But hey, we're used to that. Think about all the showdowns, all the 10Ks.
Yeah.
Think about how many teams we followed through the bracket all the way, and the final chapter, keep it up, and it might be their time for that one to happen here. Looking at Palace, I mean, Rome, if you're thinking about rogue bans, especially after how the last game went, I mean, it was Koth, so obviously things are different. What are you thinking for bans here?
Man, this one is tough because this map specifically is such a runway-heavy map, but the way that Saint's been playing it, I'm pretty sure he's saying, look, put me against Drew on it. I went against Drew on it on Breach, and I was able to come out victorious 8-5, so maybe he's going to be feeling the same way about this map, but yeah, runway is 100% a power pick, and we got ourselves a matchup, baby. It's the MNK player Saint versus the 15-year-old prodigy and Drew. He's hitting that default emote, and yeah, I want to see somebody hit the default emote after getting a kill. That'll be fun.
So once today already, and I definitely want to see it a little bit more on these fresh accounts that these players are able to play on here. And I like seeing the runway mirror. I love seeing the sniper duels from B to A. I think that's, or I guess to mid, but it's pretty close to A. That's one of my favorite parts of watching this map, and I'm excited to be able to see it here.
Dallas was banned. Dallas had to have been banned because he's not on the map. So I'm guessing that Dallas was the ban, most likely Anvil. We'll get confirmation from production on that, but I believe that Dallas most likely is going to be banned just because he's not on the map right now. Also, no runway, no Lancer, so or no Kestra, excuse me, no Lancer and no Saint, excuse me, as the revive. So not exactly sure what the bans were, but hey, we'll be finding out shortly, and that's going to be a reason that this squad in Red Notice is going to be coming through hot and swinging. Drew already got 3 elims to his name, 2 downs. He's looking to keep this thing rolling.
For sure, and now maybe they're saying, maybe we made a mistake. I mean, it was one round, it was the pistol round, so we'll see. It was a well-executed one by them. Again, it was clean, it was quick, it was... I think they took the exact areas they needed to and obviously had the utility. Even though they lost someone first, I think their ability to connect helped them a lot there, as Nash had his hand in the pot of every single elim that happened in that round. I want to see if anything changes. They got guns now. I don't think there's much, if anything, in the hands of Final Chapter, excuse me. They're going to go the same exact way, probably because they could just kind of gun diff it at range here. They're getting pistoled from the side, and Drew is going to take that fight 10 out of 10 times this round after how the last one went. And that's why they're not going to take it. They're all rotating over to meet them here, and they've gotten up their first down onto Yoke's. Going to follow it up with something else. Not going to connect. We'll get a little bit of damage, and they actually give up 40 for it.
Yeah, Drew is able to throw out the Simtai there, do some nice damage, and come through and clutch up, picking up a nice 2-piece alongside Joker. So now we got a 3v2 scenario for the side of Red Notice.
And no res.
Yeah, and no revive. This is exactly what they need right now. That shot's going to be coming in from Drew. And he's just going to be backing on up, playing it smart.
Yeah, holding the way back. Kind of on the low ground. I don't know if I necessarily love the runway being over here, but it made sense. He was the furthest forward, has to be the one to hold this angle, just for the sake of time. Both players watching that angle, holding close up, knowing that they have to take some sort of 2v1, but they're rotating back now, and Drew will likely just be able to completely tear apart Yokes. No one there to help. Spencer kind of isolated up top. Even spotted now too, so literally no chance. Might even just want to run away to save some cash from getting in their hands, but he wants to get some in his own, so he's going to take any fight he can get.
Yeah, and right now it's just all about playing that cash game, and pretty much is Drew going to go up there and try and make something happen? He's not even going to need to, as that player gets taken out. So Red Notice on the first map that they picked, they're coming out very, very strong and on the offensive end. This is exactly what you want to see.
Oh, for sure. The fact that they are kind of coming out of the gate swinging on a side they're clearly comfortable on a map that they're clearly comfortable on. We'll see if that continues down the line. And if they have more strats in the pocket, or if they're just going to keep winning the first push, they're just going to keep picking someone off on the way in. You can kind of rely on Drew for that. See if Saint is going to be the one to directly match him here. And go now, we'll see where they are going in a moment. But both teams, again, locked in and ready to go. Players watching, trying to get a listen in. See if they can get any inkling of how the game is going from the outside, looking in, and a pivot here. They're going over to A. They're shifting their gameplay completely, and seems like it's caught them off guard. Look, everyone's either in mid or by B. The conditioning on the right side's paid off.
And it looks like this plant is going to be coming in. And 40 is doing my plant, baby! Let's go! He planted it for the back. I love this plant. So this is a plant that you are able to see the bomb from a mile away. You can see it from literally this entire courtyard behind Drew to his right. So anytime you have control of that, which is pretty easy to control, you can see the bomb, but they just got absolutely deleted.
No, tell me more about the plant.
That was like a 5-second play.
Tell me more about the plant, please.
I love that plant. Man, you can see the bomb, but you got to be able to get back and away from it, and they couldn't get out whatsoever. Man, oh man, that is extremely unfortunate. It lasted about 10 seconds after the plant before the round was over.
I mean, I guess they thought they were going to be a mile away. They just gunned him. I mean, story killed 3. Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can do in that round, right? If you're like, all right, guys, this is where we're going to hold. Oh, we're all already dead because Story just ran in and literally gunned us all down. Only one player, I think, also got picked off by Saint. So final chapter, a quick response there. You get a free sight, we get a free win. That's how it goes. Is we got that post plant on lock.
Man, and if your post plan is that good, you might as well just give up A, just keep on stacking
Wait and
B.
spawn.
Yeah, exactly, at this rate. And, you know, that was an interesting strategy we used to see on a couple of maps. Teams just essentially saying plant the bomb, because then we'll be able to win on a retake. That was an interesting meta for sure. Interesting 2 weeks. And now we got Nash, who is going to be pushing up toward this B side. He's going to be putting out double smokes, but there's already a player on the flank. That's going to be P-Story. He's coming in hot and heavy. He's able to take out Joker. Saint drops Nash. Now we got ourselves a 2v4.
And 40 doesn't seem to know, I think, where they're positioned here. And they seem to have an idea. Story, though, caught out on that rotation by Drew. Is Story at 40s, I think, just trying to bait them out. They have the crosshair caught mid-roll, though. Drew drops down. It's only one player left. It's Drew 1 versus 2, and not enough health to stay alive. Story is just showing up now. I think he just needed those 2 rounds to figure out what they wanted to do. They read how they're pushing. They said, all right, I think I know how to answer it now. And him and Saint, I mean, they're the top 2 here. 5 downs, 4 downs, 9 downs between them in 4 rounds. Not bad.
Yeah, they're definitely putting the team on their backs at least through these first 4 rounds. So, hey, 2-2 situation now. It's going to be the first one up to 6 at this point, man. This is coming down to the wire, I got to be honest. I'm hyped because, listen, Red Notice, they're just not supposed to lose this, but final chapter, they have been playing it exactly how they need to play it. They've been playing it perfectly this entire time, and this start of a comeback already, they start off down 2-0, they stayed composed, they were able to win the next 2 rounds, and now it should be all smooth sailing for this squad mentally. We just got to see if they're going to be able to put it all together.
We'll see if they can. I got to ask you, because you're talking about scrims, kind of mentioning this. How's the scrim bucks situation for Red Notice and final chapter?
You know, the scrims for these 2 squads have been very interesting, to say the least. I know that the squad of Red Notice, they've been practicing a lot. They've also practiced without 40, so they've been playing with a fill player, things like that, whether it's, you know, Who's That A or somebody else that's, you know, placed pretty high in the Rogue Company scene. They'll typically pick them up for scrims and things like that. But, I mean, honestly, this squad as a whole in final chapter, they have not gotten in that much practice, honestly. You know, they had a situation a few weeks ago where, you know, one of the players, he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to go because he got a little bit sick with a little bit of a bug that's going around. You might have heard of it, called COVID. So, you know, but he was able to overcome that, and he was able to fight back. But he spent those couple weeks getting ready for this LAN health-wise. So coming into this, they don't have as much practice as other teams, but right now, final chapter, they're making it look easy right now. They got 3 rounds in a row. They only need 5 more to be on to the winners finals.
And those 3 rounds, I mean, have looked
easy.
Unreal. Yeah, it has looked so easy for them. So that is something that they need to, again, get their momentum back. I feel like Red Notice seem like this very momentum heavy team from what I've seen here so far, and that might be why Drew just playing the bait game, letting the rest of his team take a little bit there, play for the bounce nade. They managed to stay alive though. Saint is disengaging here, and they're back to their kind of bog standard, how they have been playing this before, but the flank is coming in again from Saint and Story, and Joker goes down. I want to say again, Spencer with the next as well, so he's showing up too, and Drew is just watching his team die in front of him, and there's nothing he can do about it. You can't do anything when Story's hitting shots like that and making plays like that. Final chapter, another one straight. I mean, this, you show me the first 2 rounds, I don't tell you 4-2 the other way after that.
Yeah, you know, right now, final chapter, let me just say this. With their composition, the way that they have it set up, the runway drops her briefcase, they automatically get 2 more grenades. It doesn't matter who picks it up. It could be Kestrel. It could be Seeker. It could be Dahlia. It doesn't matter. All 4 of them have grenades in their kit. And that's just so lethal anytime you want to plant the bomb, especially if you don't have any trophies. Let me go ahead and say that now. I don't know, man. At this rate, it's looking pretty rough. They're going to need to plant the bomb. 40, he's got those trophies. He needs to plant them before he tries to plant that bomb, or else he's going to be getting taken out every single time by a plethora of grenades, because every single time they spawn in, they have 6 grenades on the defensive side.
I'm starting to think that they are locked in one strat. They're going B again.
Yep.
They managed to make it in though. They have 40 planting this time. He's got the APS on him, and he has to leave early. Doesn't even get the plant down, and he's pushing up. They're playing so aggressively, but they know it's coming. Spencer finds the first. He barely takes any damage. He gets rezzed, and they disengage. They stay alive, and they catch him again. Is that the bomb up top? No, it made it to the ground where Nash is rezzing, but there's just so much pressure. They can't do anything down here, and they lost their trench.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that? You see the AP just sitting there on the ground, essentially useless now, and they got a 3v4 situation, now a 2v4, as P-Story is able to take out one, and now the floods are starting to come in, man. Open the floodgates. It's looking like it's going to be a 5-1 unless Drew can make the impossible possible. He's going to be hopping up. Maybe he might be able to take out a player. He's going to be able to finish off that Dahlia. Seeker's not going to be able to get back up anytime soon. He is going to get taken out. Drew trying to add another elim on to his tally. Not going to be able to. He's revealed as well. All right, Drew, 35 seconds. Here we go, man. Show him why you're number 6. He's able to pick off one, and now he's in a straight up 1v1. He's got to grab the bomb and put it down as well. That player most likely going to be going for the revive. This might be the opportune time for him to plant it. No, Drew!
Don't do that.
Oh,
it can't
man.
happen like that.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate. He was so ready. You can see final chapter. They're laughing at it. They're saying, oh, man, you walked right into that Claymore. Drew did the smart play. He realized they were going for the revive, so he was going to grab the bomb and rotate out to the other site with 22 seconds left to be able to barely plant the bomb. I feel like that was the right play. You can see 40 right now. He is just like, bruh. Like, that is a bruh moment if I've ever seen
Drew
it.
has been doing so much. I don't think anyone, everything he's done this game at least neutralizes it to like an average performance.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at Drew for that. I mean, you can be, but don't be. He has been playing real well up to now, and I mean, if you're ever wondering if is it worth it to put a trip mine down no matter what side I'm on in like a random place, maybe I'll catch a flanker. Yeah, it's always worth it.
Yeah.
I think after that, it's always worth it. Do you think anything's going to change at the flip of the half? I mean, okay, they'll be on different sides, but do you...
I mean, final chapter right now, they've got all the momentum. They just won 5 rounds in a row. You can see Nash... He was on camera for about 10 seconds. He didn't say a word. That's not the Nash that I want to see. When you're the IGL, when you need to lead a comeback, you need to be non-stop talking. Honestly, you've been on offense, now you're on defense. You need to be talking about what your defense is going to be doing, what rogues, who you want where, and it looks like he's doing absolutely none of that right now. He's finally starting to talk to his squad. So here we go, man, as they're about to be flying in on this defensive side. And P-Story did it. He brought out the Sigrid. It is time for P-Sigrid. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and tell you, there are not a lot of people that can play Sigrid in Rogue Company. It is the highest skill gap rogue in the game, and let me tell you, P-Story, he is the only player out of all 24 today that play Sigrid and can play it at an extremely high level.
Let's see how he does with it. He's already pushing up here and juking some of that utility. Do you think this is like a mental boom kind of situation where they're like, I think I'm going to beat him with Sigrid. They're not going to know how to react to it, and he's the one player that can get away with it. I'm down for that. I can rock with that.
This is straight up P-Story saying, listen, I'm better than you. I'm feeling better, and guess what? I can pull out my pocket pick rogue that nobody ever bans, and I pull it out when I want. You can see Saint. He's hitting that default dance. They're feeling so good right now. This is the last thing that you want to see if you're a fan of Red Notice.
And this is the smartest thing to do, because they can see them. I just saw one of them turn and scream at them, so they know the mental damage they've done already. They know that if they keep it up, they won't be able to recover. It takes a lot to recover when you can look up and see them dancing on you on the other side. Hit me with it.
40! Pick up your controller for it. 40, 0 down, 0 elims, 1 assist, and 0 revives on the revive character. That is just extremely unfortunate. Man, oh man, let me just say one thing that is fortunate.
He's only played the revive character for 1 round. Let's just say that. That was not a round where you're getting any revives.
Fair enough. He was on Trench the first half. Fair enough. Man, oh man. Shout out to First Watch Games as well, man. This wouldn't be possible without all of our amazing sponsors. Man, Alienware as well. So many great sponsors for this tournament. This 10K lands the first one of hopefully many. I'm not gonna lie.
It says annual on the bottom, but I'm just reading. I don't know anything else about that.
Okay, maybe a little bit of a leak there. Who knows? Either way, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
Oh well, hopefully we are here for many more here. Love watching some Rogue Company as they are getting the plan here. Secret's going to go for it. I don't think they have anything to really stop her, so they will get that bomb down. They'll be able to disengage as the rest of them are set up all around it. And no one's really punishing them at all. They're playing the strat from before, and Spencer finds the first. It's Nash that is the first to fall. They can't find that down here, but Story, I think, went to finish off the kill and went down on his own. Are they going to spend that res on it? Are they even close enough to spend the res on it? Either way, Saint's getting forced away here. Going to stop the defuse, though, knows that he's being chased. What a play by this Runaway, who's, I mean, their team's in a dominant position, but he's still pulling it off right. If he had hit that, I would have screamed, so I'm glad that he didn't, because the poor audio people here need to have a break for at least a moment. Another round in the books for Final Chapter as they are one away from closing out the upset 3-0.
This is a sentence I never thought that I would be able to say this tournament. Final Chapter might be 3-0ing Red Notice in the winner's bracket, ladies and gentlemen. Yokes, he's only got one down to his name, but he only needs to win one more round. As long as you're doing your job, that is all that matters, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter. Round count 7-2. Everybody on the side of Final Chapter is putting in that work, doing what they need to. And now P-Story, he's got the bomb in hand. He's on his Sigrid. He's 2-0 round count. You saw all their heads were turned to the right of Final Chapter. They are talking to the side of Red Notice. They're letting them know, listen, we are here, one round away. See you in the loser's bracket.
That's it. You got to take advantage of the LAN while you're here.
Yep.
You got to take advantage of it. Talk your stuff.
Here we go.
Make that
Same
happen.
plan.
He's going to get gunned down on the way. The C4 from Nash. It finds 2. They're going to get the res on the Sigrid, at least because of the Dahlia here, but now they're down 1, so Nash, really well played by him. They're going to be forced to split up. They have the bomb. They maybe might want to pivot to the other side. It looks like they might be going to at least fake it as they go away, but still, nope, holding close. Story wants to commit here. Feels like he has to, and all that info's been given up to them now.
Yeah, and this is a very interesting situation. There is a molly in the hand of P-Story. Drew is able to get a massive pick right there for his squad. Ooh, P-Story not able to win that one against 40. 40's able to come out on top.
40.
So, yeah, there you go. Able to piece them together and able to help your team out a little bit. You can see Dahlia in the Yokes. He's going to be able to get it down with this devotion. Oh, my, don't run into it.
Oh,
that's
his own. It's
okay,
his own.
that's his own. Okay, we've seen this before, ladies and gentlemen. Oh! Oh, man. That is so unfortunate, but Red Notice are able to pick up their first win in a long time. It seems like they were up 2-0.
Yeah.
Wow. So Red Notice was up 2-0 and lost 7 rounds in a row. That's so rough, man. They have the capabilities of coming back. So let me just say it is not over until it's over, ladies and gentlemen. Whatsoever.
Well, now that 40 has increased his eliminations by a literally infinite amount, how do you think that'll affect their mentals going into this one?
I mean, I feel like, honestly, ever since 40 got naded by Joker, I feel like he's probably been a little bit down. So
that's true.
Yeah, so honestly, coming up after that, you just got to take it a round at a time and treat every round like it's a 7-7. You know, you just got to make sure you don't make small mistakes and try to come out victorious and get those trades, keep those comms nice and hot. And, hey, at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest, they're going to need to stop this plant, because if this plant goes down again, I don't know if they're going to be able to retake this one.
And they're close enough to maybe do it, but nothing comes in. They're just too isolated by the smoke. I don't think they necessarily know that it's coming in, or at least there was noise being made somewhere else, so they really couldn't do it. It's all onto this post plant now, and all the rest if they manage to get it for Red Notice. And they can put so much weight on this revealed, going for that synced nade. They managed to dodge their own nade, and so much utility's coming out, but Story's the one to strike first. The Talon down, that's Nash, and then immediately it's the trip mine again. It finds the Seeker, so he's on a flank, so he's not going to be able to get rezzed, and now Red Notice have to go 4v3.
Extremely unfortunate right now, as you can see Spencer, he's hanging out down low, just playing out this time, playing for his life. Nash able to pick up a big kill right there with the Deadeye. Saint answers right on back with the Sahara. You're not going to be getting him off with that one. Here we go, man. They're going to be able to win, and Final Chapter have just taken out Red Notice, knocking them down to the elimination bracket.
And they are in the money.
Yeah.
They made it. They got that cash, that text. He doesn't have to call that one back at all. The one to the family group chat. He is set to go. I mean, they know they're going to be playing against a good team no matter who wins on the other side, but they have put themselves in an excellent place. And what a way to show up at a LAN, man. This is, at least for now, they've made it way further than in the winner's bracket than people were expecting. A great showing for them so far.
Yeah, and now they've guaranteed themselves top 3. A lot of people had this squad as the 4th overall seed. They predicted them to finish 4th in this tournament at least, and now that they've guaranteed themselves top 3 at least, they've already exceeded expectations as a squad, as a unit, and now the sky's the limit. How far can they ride this roller coaster, baby? Because man, oh man, it has been fun to watch this final chapter squad.
I gotta ask, would you kind of place them as a more momentum-based team?
Yes.
Do you think that so this could be something they keep rolling if they do have that one? I mean, they can carry this momentum knowing that they just upset this team, or at least maybe not even an upset to them if they were confident going in. How far do you think they could take it if they are rolling on that much?
I mean, honestly, at this rate, they might be able to eventually take 2nd place, and who knows, man, the way they're playing Hamsters, you might want to watch out.
Yeah, definitely have to keep an eye out here, but so much going on in that game, and I think we might not be the people to break it down, but I know some people who can. We can take it right back over to the desk, and they will talk about what they just saw.
Welcome back, everyone. We have our match results, and we're
Blue's already scrolling the memes on Twitter.
That's right.
They're already happening, man. That was a hot match. I think we can clearly call it the first upset of the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like predicting we had the Hamsters and we had Red Notice coming in those, but that is, as they said, an upset. But as our casters were saying, maybe it wasn't an upset in their minds. Maybe they went in confidently.
Yeah, I got caught up. I seen a meme of Nash online versus Nash on land. No one even said anything in my ears. I have no idea we're coming back. Their production is, man, they're throwing me under the bus like 3 times today. They told me to look at the camera. I thought they were testing something.
That was perfect, though. I mean, you nailed it. You did the part. You did the part well.
Okay.
It was just a skit, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. It was all planned.
Yes, it was all pre-planned.
I mean, how shocked are we right now? I mean, Red Notice obviously coming out top in their group, so we're expecting them to win that game. We just watched Final Chapter kind of have this like weird sort of blundery moment, but obviously we're able to pull out the win nonetheless. So not saying that they should have been looking tilted or anything, but we talked about everybody being kind of warmed up. We're expecting Red Notice. They had a great group stage. They're coming in ready to go and ready to, as far as the standings are saying, ready to win this game, but that was certainly not the case.
Hey, listen, I told you P-Story had to step up even more.
He pulled out the secret, too.
He did,
I mean,
and
my
I
man.
told you, if you see the secret, it's going to be P-Story. He pulled out the secret, played fantastic on it as well. It was in a demo, wasn't even like it was in a King of the Hill. It was in a demolition. They were able to get some nice bomb plants with that. But most importantly, someone needed to step up and compliment P-Story. Who was that? It was Saint on the runway. I mean, point and click is the name of the game for that keyboard player.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they were doing, playing fantastic on that runway. Briefcases were going down in perfect positions at perfect times. The right people were taking those briefcases to refill and double up on their gadgets. And then, of course, the headshots.
Yes.
And the trip mine kills. He was in a 3v1 situation. You're supposed to lose that. and all of a sudden, trip mine helps him out. He gets 2 headshots. Bam.
Yeah, done and dusted there. I mean, stepping up. I think that I love, just to bring it back to the secret for one moment, it doesn't matter like King of the Hill or Demolition. It's just the point in the series at which they're feeling so confident, and it's not really like super well thought out, and it doesn't have to be. It's a statement pick there, and I love that from him.
Oh, it's beautiful. Best Sigrid on the Sigrid. To close
because
it out.
It sends that message, right? Everybody knows she doesn't really get played.
Yeah.
Certainly not in Demolition.
Hold on. I got you. What you want?
You got a pick rate?
The last 10K?
Her pick rate in Demolition. It's something that when you see it as the opponent of that, like, oh man, this team they're starting to feel themselves.
Let me tell you.
They're pulling out the signature. What you got?
The last 10K in November. Demo pick rate?
Was that the last time she was picked, or was that
0%?
0%. That's
King
not great.
0%.
Unlucky.
How about October? You want to go to October? Here we go. 0%.
All right.
0%.
So that drives the point home. I mean, she's not something that's picked, and so when you do start to see it, you're like,
she hasn't been picked since June.
All right, they're
the last person to play her?
Who?
Was in June in a 10K tournament. It was P-Story.
It was, yeah. So that's his statement pick. I mean, that's his style pick, and that's why when you start to see that, it's almost like getting in the head of your opponent. You're like, okay, they're starting to pull out the style picks on us, which that can tilt you even further.
I think one thing that I should have said before this match started, but Red Notice, they were sitting, they were waiting an entire match while Final Chapter took down Antimatter and then went straight to. So I know, they were playing this morning and they were warmed up, but sitting around for an hour waiting for a match gets you cold, like. And I was gonna say, Final Chapter came off of a great win, and they're continuing it. So. Yeah,
I mean, they had like the awkward moment in the King of the Hill where they dropped the round, but obviously, finishing out strong, I think was the name of the game there. And it's a great point that you make, right? Like they are coming. No one's necessarily cold on the day, but if anyone's going to be warmed, it's going to be the team that literally just got done.
Yeah,
playing
you were talking about that group play. Everyone's warming up, but they were sitting for a while. So was Public Hamsters. At the same time, though,
did they play their group stage games on the main set there? That could be a factor.
Some of them did. Some of them did. They were going back and forth.
I know Drew's grandparents are in the audience.
Oh, let's go!
I mean, they're probably.
Dude, they are. They got the AirPods in.
That's pressure.
Each grandparent's got like one AirPod in. They're holding the phone up, watching the stream, listening.
I love it.
While watching them in front of them live is awesome.
Nothing brings a smile to my face more than a supportive parent or grandparent of esports.
Let's go.
It's going to be great. It's great.
Well, any other analysis of that last game? Like I guess we didn't really see some of the main characters. We didn't see any like anvils, but again, it was kind of not the map for it, not specific pushes. But what were some of the things that you guys noticed that really helped in the last game?
I think it's more so the momentum shift, right? Like after game 1, when Final Chapter won that, they built a little bit of confidence in themselves. And then all of a sudden they win 2-0 in the King of the Hill, which was super convincing. They start to say, wait a minute
and then they're just playing the same map again, right?
Yeah,
they're coming hot off a 2-0 and Palace, and then it's like, all right, we got to go
feeling ourselves.
Play Palace again. I'm feeling pretty good about I'm feeling good about that,
to snowball, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of helped them out. On the other side, though, you look at Red Notice, and this is a problem that I've been thinking about for the past couple days. Look at 40. He's been practicing and playing in these 10Ks. You can go through and look at the rogues that he's picked over the last year when he does play competitively. And it's mainly things like Trench, Anvil. He's usually the anchor. So what happens when this team pulls out Talon, Runway, Seeker? Joker's got to play that Seeker. Of course, Drew's going to be on the Runway because that's the Semtex and the Sniper, right? And then you've got Nash, who's some of the best Glitch, Talon, and Trench players. But now you got 40 playing Trench. So who has to play that Revive? Well, Joker's your Dahlia player, which means 40's going to have to play the Revive. Can he play Dahlia? It doesn't look like it because they keep bringing out the Saint. Now, yes, Palace is a big map. Saint kind of brings the smokes to the table just like Dahlia, but he brings a C4 instead of grenades. And, Talon, Runway, Seeker, not really someone that you want to link to as Dahlia. So that kind of persuades you to go with the Saint, but instead, I think it's mainly because Joker has to play that Seeker. And because you can't have Dahlia with Joker because he's playing that Seeker, I think that's where everything starts to jumble up because the composition kind of falls apart from there. You got to give 40 something he can play, and I think he's more comfortable with Saint than Seeker. I think that was also a part of their downfall in that third game as well.
Yeah, I think just to wrap this one up for me, Red Notice, obviously this is a double elimination event, so this is kind of that moment. You have to bounce back. I think you have expectations on you, right? Doing so well in the group phase, you don't want to get O2'd in the bracket play. It's kind of it's a weird thing. Maybe it's the relative strength of that group. That's always a conversation as well, when you have these different groups, right? Going 1-1 in the strongest group, right? You might be able to take down a 2-0 team from hypothetically a weaker group. Not saying that's one of these groups is weaker than the other, but it's something to keep in mind. I want to see these guys bounce back and bring it back to the grand finals, man.
Well, I think that's all for right now. We are going to head to break, but we are going to catch you guys after.